down for the first time in ages, and trade schools going up. So I think it kind of depends on where you want to look, but in a very general way, you hit the nail on the head. When we took shop class out of high school 40, 50 years ago, we started to send a series of messages that, to the president's point, wound up causing a lot of people to feel left behind. And it's not just a vocational question. It's what happens when you promote one form of education as the best path for the most people and use all the other alternative forms, apprenticeships and trade schools and so forth, as some kind of a vocational consolation prize. Stigmas and stereotypes and myths and misperceptions begin to form around those kinds of educations and around those kinds of jobs, and it just becomes a vicious cycle. And the next thing you know, we're where we are. 11 million open jobs, most of which don't require a four-year degree, and $1.7 trillion in student loans on the books. It's not just a mismatch of skills. It's a skill gap, but it's also a will gap, and it's a PR problem. It's a big conversation.
And so, as you say, since some of those working class folks have felt left behind, maybe the tables are turning. I mean, I look at these statistics. This is the Bureau of Labor Statistics, and the outlook for the next 10 years of the jobs that will be growing. Look at this. Electricians, the growth by 7%. Construction equipment operators, 5%. Construction laborers and helpers, 4%. Now, that's basically the average of growth of all jobs, but still, they're not going away. Carpenters now 2%. Only building inspectors are going down by 4%. I don't know why that is, but plumbers, pipe fitters, steam fitters, 2% growth. So they're keeping up with the rest of the economy, and maybe it's time to reconsider all of this.
Look, if there was a silver lining to the lockdowns, and I think there were probably a few, the country got a tap on the shoulder, right? And a reminder of what essential work was. You know, I work on TV shows that make a big deal about that, but all of a sudden, right, when you see it's not just about, oh, this company needs more electricians, or these people could do better if they learned a trade. It suddenly became, well, how long do you want to wait for the electrician to come to your home, or the plumber, right, or the welder, or the HVAC guy? And so people began to suddenly realize, hold on, it's not just the employer over here and the employee over there, or labor and capital, or union or non-union. We're all kind of in this together. And a healthy workforce is a workforce that values the skilled trades. I'll say, too, you know, the problem with those studies is that they do reflect a macro issue, but the opportunities that are buried in those facts, that's what's interesting. For the individual right now who wants to learn a trade, there are people falling over themselves to help pay for that, including me. My foundation gives away a couple $1 million a year in work ethic scholarships specifically for these kinds of jobs. We're overrun this year. It's just anecdotal, Allison, but I'm telling you, I've been doing this for 15 years. And this year, we've seen more applications in a relatively short period of time than I've ever seen before. And I think it's because the country is beginning to wake up to the idea that maybe the definition we've given to a good job has been historically a bit too limiting.
And in fact, you've put together a PSA about that scholarship program, so let's take a look at it.
Some people say there's no opportunity for women in the trades. Those people never met Chloe Hudson. You entered a field that historically has been dominated by men, welding.
My dad, he really instilled in me that there is absolutely nothing that I'm incapable of. The women in the 40s and 50s, they blazed that trail, and they did it with red lipstick. I'm not a female welder, I'm not a welder, I'm not a tradeswoman, I'm just a welder. That's what I do for a living, and I love it.
Apply for a work ethic scholarship today at microworks.org.
Very cool, Mike. So what does everybody need to know about this?
You need to know that Chloe Hudson's for real. She's one of 1,500 people we've assisted over the years. You need to know that she's making a healthy six-figure salary doing something that she absolutely loves. You need to know she was this close, this signing on the dotted line to borrow hundreds of thousands of dollars to become a plastic surgeon and decided that there was another way to go. There's always another way to go, and the moral of the story is pick the way that makes the most sense for you, but make sure you get an honest look at all of the options that are out there. We got to get our thumb off the scale, and we have to stop promoting one category of jobs at the expense of all the others.
Mike, it's always great to check in with you. Thanks so much for your time tonight.
Anytime, and I really appreciate you having me on. It means a lot.
All right, so what do you